And next thing I know, I want to say, man, less than 24 hours, I get a cease and desist letter from Earn Your Leisure. I'm thinking to myself, what is going on? Clearly, this is bank fraud. They
gurus. I'm happy you calling these people out. Can you please just elaborate a little bit what's going on? Because I've been following your channel. What's been going on with the whole Earn Your Leisure, Him500 kind of, and what's the podcast payola? Can you explain that to the people?
Yes, sir. Podcast payola. All right. So I did a video the other day, man. We're probably going on a little bit over a week. Understand, most of the people I do a video about, I've never heard of them before in my life. Their content and what they do just doesn't run in the circles of what I do in my clique. But what I'm in a Facebook group of Black accountants. And in that group it's a pretty cool group. We share career tips, advice, and the part that I love the most is we share memes. So whenever we see some kind of way out there, weird financial advice, or we see somebody in the media trying to portray as if they know something, it goes in the group and everybody starts to really to laugh at it. I wake up one day last week and it's a video of Him500. Right? Never heard of this guy before in my life. Until
I seen your videos, I never heard of this man ever. I never heard of him.
Never heard of him before, but he's on a podcast and he's talking about how you can get $100,000 non-collateralized loan. So we're talking about non-collateralized, meaning there is no asset protecting the loan. So when you buy a house, the mortgage is protected by the house. If you buy a car, that auto loan is protected by the car, meaning if you default on these loans, the bank has something to repossess. The bank has something to take back to try to make their money back. He was like, man, I got the play. I got a way where you can get $100,000 cash from the bank, and it's a smooth little trick that you can play. You can go to Navy Federal. The man names the particular bank or credit union. I'm sitting here, it's blowing my mind. He said you can go to Navy Federal Credit Union, apply for an auto loan. You're not really trying to buy a car.
Right.
Just go online and Google some, car gurus and Google a car in your area and just take the VIN number from online and just give that to them. Right? They're going to write you a check for the car. But if you don't give them the title in 90 days, then they just convert the auto loan to a personal loan and your interest rate goes up. But you got $100,000 cash that you can invest in this and do that. Man, he has no idea that he has triggered 3 or 4 federal crimes by what he's advising. What he's advising people to do. So all of this, let me actually try to get to the question, but all of this leads me to where I'm at now. So I see this video. It's a quick one, man. It don't take long for me to break this down and talk about how if you go to a bank with the intentions to take something from that bank, namely money, under the false impression that you're going to buy a car, knowing you're not going to buy the car, that's bank fraud, number one.
All right.
Then they give you a check to buy the car. You then take that check and you put it into the banking system, not to buy the car, but to cash the check so you can use the money for whatever you want to do. Now that's probably wire fraud, right?
Yeah.
Then when you go to the point of having to negotiate the check's not in your name. The check's probably in the name of the person you said was selling you the car.
Right.
So if you got your boy to say that he was going to sell you a car, that's conspiracy. No matter if he took a cut or he just said, man, you can use my name and I'll cash the check and give it to you. That's conspiracy.
Right.
Then the last thing he said, you can invest that money, put it into Bitcoin, do this, do that. The second you put that money back into the banking system so that you can try to create some legitimate business, now you're dealing with money laundering. We're talking about Fed time. That was not state time where, okay, you get 10 years, you might do about 5, 6, 3, depending on good behavior. No, Bedtime, you do all time.
Yeah, you gone. You out of there.
So all of this is going on. I do the video, and next thing I know, I want to say, man, less than 24 hours, I get a cease and desist letter from Earn Your Leisure. I'm thinking to myself, what is going on? Clearly, this is bank fraud. They can't be trying to stop me from putting this content out. What's going on? So I end up reading the cease and desist letter from a lawyer in Georgia. And when I get done reading it, I realize Earn Your Leisure wants me to edit the video and take it down because I mentioned Earn Your Leisure in the video. And their name, Earn Your Leisure, is in the title of the video, but at the very end of the video.
Right.
And the reason why I mentioned Earn Your Leisure is because the video I was reacting to wasn't a Him500 video. It was an Earn Your Leisure video. It was a video of them being interviewed by another podcast, so Big Facts over at Revolt. They were interviewing Earn Your Leisure. But Earn Your Leisure now has an entourage, right? So they didn't just come to the interview themselves. They came with their crew. And part of their crew was Him500. Who had on, like Earn Your Leisure gear. He kept mentioning, this is how you earn your leisure in the interview. So I felt like I'm well within my rights to mention the fact that this was a misstep. This was someone teaching people who were probably financially illiterate how to commit federal crimes. Right. And even while the man is giving this instructions of how you can try to defraud a bank, the brothers from Earn Your Leisure, you can see them in the video. They in the background. They're cheerleading. Yeah. They're like, oh man, this is why we brought him. Y'all want to know why we bring so many people with us? This is why we brought him. Then they had the nerve to say, he's the most dangerous man on the internet. I'm sitting there like, come on, you can't be cheerleading the man while he's giving people instructions how to commit a federal crime. Right. But you don't want to be associated with it now. Right, you don't want to be associated.
You done got all the press and all the call from the video. Now you just want to fall back. That ain't how internet work, though. That's
that ain't how it works. So now I'm hot because I feel as if you got this big platform, Earn Your Leisure, big platform, over 500,000 subscribers on YouTube. Almost, I think, probably about 1 million over there on all the different social sites. I'm saying, now you sending me a cease and desist order, trying to shut me down. You on some bully type stuff now.
Yeah.
And I'm not the guy to bully. Don't let the glasses fool you. I can take these glasses off and it becomes real, right? I'm not the guy to bully. So now I'm hot. And then all of a sudden, I see another video from Him500. And in this video, he's explaining about how he pays money to get on podcasts. This is how he got in front of the audience that he has now. He talked about how he paid $50,000 to get on $1 million worth of game. So I'm sitting like, hold on. $50,000 to get on $1 million worth of game. Yeah. I watched the interview. They don't mention this as a paid sponsorship. They don't talk about how the brother, he's got a product that he would like to sell. And, because any other time that you have someone pay you to endorse something, you're supposed to put that all in your comments, pin it, let them know this episode is sponsored by blah, blah, blah. Let the people know. That's not what happens. If you see my video about podcast payola, you'll see the host of $1 million worth of game. They giving this man the most hype. I mean, the greatest hype man in the world.
That's the Gilly the Kid thing.
Yeah. They're giving him the biggest cheer, the biggest build up. They're telling you, hey, if you broke, this is what the brother says. If you broke, if you ain't got no money, if your credit messed up, after today, after what you hear from Him500, if you still broke, it's your fault. So he's hyping it up to the point where everybody's ears should be perked up.
Hey, JT, if somebody pay me $50,000, I'm hyping it up too. I need him to come back.
So I'm sitting here and I just show this is what they present on the $1 million worth of game. And this is what Him500 is saying what actually happened behind the scenes. He paid for that endorsement. It wasn't a genuine, like, I'm not paying you no money to be interviewed right now.
No, yeah,
right?
And that's why and I've had those people trying to contact me to get on here, and I'm like, he talking about I got a course. These courses $2,000 to $10,000. I'm like, man, what you gonna do? Just self help? All it's gonna be is just go out there and grind your hardest. And this, right. I'm like, man, that ain't how it works.
It's all mentality. That's what it kind of breaks down on most of these courses. So I'm sitting there, and then what ends up happening too is, I actually have a friend, someone that I personally know in real life, not just in these YouTube streets, but someone I know in the St. Louis metro area. And they're in finance also. And they agree with me that there's been a lot of guests on Earn Your Leisure who have seemed somewhat scammy, who have seemed like they don't exactly show that they're experts in what they say. So he actually reached out to them and was like, hey, man, maybe you should have me on the show because I feel like I can give more balance on, giving people real financial information. They never replied to him directly, but eventually he gets a phone call or a contact, right? From someone who's from the Earn Your Leisure team. Now, all of this is alleged because I wasn't on the phone call, but I can tell you this. I know this man. He's a professional man. He has no reason to lie about it. He wasn't telling me to do a show about it. All of this stuff just happened to happen around the same time. So he tells me that someone reached out to him and said, if you want to be on this show, you have to pay. And he was like, well, pay? What am I paying for? And it was like, I'm not going to pay for someone to interview me. And the person was like, no, well, you're not really paying for the interview. It's just that the guys, the show is blowing up right now. There's so many people. They're so busy. It's just that, you would be basically just paying for their time.
Right.
I'm saying like, and he knows he's not an irrational person. He knows that paying for their time is paying for the interview. So that's what podcast payola is. To the people in the audience, understand that payola is a music industry term. Back in the day, in 1960, the federal government came out with this rule about payola because people were paying to get on the airwaves. People were paying to get their songs on the airwaves because get your song played over and over again is going to get you a hit. And it became so rampant to the point where an honest artist could not get on the radio unless they paid. And now it's a bidding war. If one person is willing to pay $10,000, the next one's willing to pay 15, 30, 40, it gets to the point where it's unfair practice. So it's not that you can't take money. I want to be clear. If you build up a platform, you have an audience, and someone is willing to pay you to get access to your audience, that's capitalism, baby. I'm an accountant. I'm all for it.
Right.
What the law says is you have to disclose that you have a financial relationship with the product, service, or brand you are promoting, because it gives off this false impression that you don't have any type of connection to this person that may influence your endorsement. And then so that's what brings us to today.
But but the thing is, so many more people are interested in that scam because everybody want quick money like that. Let's be completely honest. We got 100 and this ain't no hit to know, but we got 168 people here. Normally we have 300-400 people when we talking about women, right? And that's what people want. They want to just sit here and talk about. Don't nobody want to be responsible for what they actually got to do in life. Everybody want to sit here and talk about women all day. But we've been